So first up is Mike Turini of Acceleware. And Acceleware is a Canadian innovator of clean tech enhanced heavy oil recovery technology and a developer of software solutions for the oil industry. Notably, Acceleware innovation technology relies on radio frequency energy to heat and mobilize heavy oil and bitumen, resulting in dramatically cleaner and lower cost production. So with that, Mike, why don't I turn it over to you?
Thanks, Graham. Great to be here and excited to be here actually for our third time presenting at PROPEL. We were here in 2017 and then again in 2019. So I'm going to talk fast in our 5 minutes and try to get through as much background content as well as all the progress we've made since 2017 in commercializing this technology. We can get next slide on it. There we go. I'm all good now. We'll move fast, Nolan. You can read that quickly and later. So essentially, as Graham mentioned, we are using RF energy to complete a technology that does enhance thermal heavy oil production. So instead of burning fossil fuels to make fossil fuels, we're electrifying the enhanced oil recovery market, really in terms of heavy oil and oil sand production. We take electricity into a proprietary inverter that we call the Clean Tech Inverter. That inverter operates at 98% plus efficiency. It delivers RF energy down into those two red RF heating lines you see in the formation. And that goes out into the formation and heats any polar molecule. Happens to be that water is the dominant polar molecule in the formation. So it heats the water, creates a steam chamber that then operates similar to SAGD with gravity drainage around that steam chamber, moving the oil to a producer well and taking it out of the formation. So we've removed the combustion of fossil fuel to make that heat. We're as clean as the power source used to provide the energy. So in the case of using a renewable power source, we are near zero scope 1 and scope 2 emissions in producing that oil from a heavy oil or oil sand field. We eliminate the need for fresh water use. So we're relying entirely on the connate water in the formation. We use less land and we don't require any solvents. We reduce the chemicals used in the processing at the surface, and it's a massive shift in what we can do both on the environmental side and the economic side. Because of the simplicity involved here, we're able to really change the cost structure and provide a low cost, low carbon thermal recovery solution. I'm going to go deeper into what it means on the water side here. So you may have heard the analogy that heavy oil and oil sand operators are in the water business and they happen to produce some oil. There's so much water involved in that process. We eliminate all of that water use, and what that does is, this is the picture of the trickle-down effect of what that does both for environmental performance and economic performance. So we get rid of the water. We no longer have to treat the large volumes of water that come out of the ground. We reduce the chemicals that are required to treat and separate that water from the oil. We've eliminated the steam generation. That's where the emissions are coming from the steam gen and the fuel gas used to generate that steam. But there's also a significant CapEx reduction in not having to build a facility to make that steam. That reduces the CapEx by 40 to 50% and OpEx by 40%, and reduces the surface footprint.
Got disconnected and rejoined.
What we're seeing that's really critical right now is, in a context of uncertainty around the longevity of demand or the price structure for the oil itself, we can drive down to as low as a 5-year project profitability instead of something like a 30-year time frame that's typically been how operators look at an investment. So in a brownfield or greenfield, we can really accelerate the time to profitability. So I'm going to go through a bit of a background here. We came to PROPEL in 2017. We were looking to raise 5 to 10 million to support this project and the commercialization of the technology. Since then, we have managed to pull in 24 plus million in financing and funding. 15 of that is non-repayable grants from Sustainable Development Technology Canada, Emissions Reduction Alberta, and Alberta Innovates. And we have 2 major oil sand partners that are involved in the project, both providing technical advice and experience, as well as 4 million in capital to support the project. So the bottom line is, this project that we came to PROPEL in 2017 looking to finance it. We've been successful in completely funding that pilot project, and we are now ready to put that in the ground in the next few months and start heating this year. On the commercialization front, since 2017, we've made a lot of progress as well. Immediately after our 2017 pitch at PROPEL, we did a 1/20th scale field test in the ground, delivering 100 kilowatts of power. We launched the formal project with 10 million in funding a year later, and then announced a funding and tech deal with our first major oil sand partner in the end of 2018. We put 500 kilowatts of power into the ground successfully in Q2 of last year. And then in Q4, we created a new partnership. We've called that the Acceleware Kissestew partnership. Kissestew is the Cree word for heat. And we created that partnership with the Sadene group, which was founded by Jim Boucher, the former chief of Fort McKay First Nation, and Jovan Kiddo. That group is working with us to help forward the concept of responsible growth and responsible development of oil assets in Alberta and around the world. We're excited to be working with them. Q4 2020, we had a second major oil sand operator join our project, so more support from industry and interest in seeing where this technology can go. And then just early this year, Jim Boucher from Sadene joined the Acceleware board of directors. And in the next quarter, we're going to be getting this pilot project in the ground at Marwayne, Alberta, and demonstrate the commercial scale operation of the technology. So we're ready to roll and get that in the ground. Another goal we set when we came to PROPEL in 2017 was to build IP around our technology, develop IP and file new patents. Since that time, we've had 8 patents granted. We have 22 patents pending and at least 10 underway right now. So we're really focusing on continued growth of our IP portfolio. The picture you see on the screen is our Chief Scientific Officer, Michael Okanuski, standing in front of our clean tech inverter. So this is a 2 megawatt unit that will power the pilot test at Marwayne. It takes electricity in and is 98% plus efficient at putting RF energy out. That's then delivered downhole into those 2 red heating lines you'll recall from the first slide. I'm going to take this 1 second too to mention that we're going really quickly through the information here. Please, if you want more information, reach out to me, or you can check out our website at acceleware.com. Here we are in 2021 at PROPEL, and so our goals are really to continue the commercialization of RFXL and secure the financing we need to grow. We're out in the market right now working to get another partner to join our project, hopefully get 2 million in funding. We're about to drill and complete our test well and demonstrate that we can heat and produce as planned. And our presence here is really to pave the way for additional financing to support commercialization once we get this well on the ground and prove that the technology works. I think we're now ready to go on to questions. I can leave this up on screen and
thanks so much. Thanks for the overview. I know 5 minutes flies by. Maybe I've got a couple of questions I want to throw through you if any trickle in from the audience here.